So to start us off, we're gonna give you're gonna give, not me.
Okay.
You're gonna give your name, how long you've been teaching here, and your job description or classes you teach, anything like that.
Okay. So, am I looking at the camera or are you?
You can choose whichever one you want. We've had either way. McGathy did where she
So you did both.
traded off. And
Okay,
she looked
all
at
right.
both, so.
That's what I got. All right, so I'm Jade Joseph. I have been teaching here for 9 years. I also student taught here, which was kind of cool. So I've been here for a decade, which is kind of crazy to think about. I teach English. Right now, I teach mainly upperclassmen in yearbook and AP Lit, but I also teach a lot of freshmen. So yeah, it's been an interesting 10 years.
Yeah, and you get the best of both worlds.
I do.
With the upperclassmen and then freshmen.
I do actually see it that way. So I love teaching freshmen, especially first trimester freshmen. They come here, they don't really know how high school works, and it's cool to be able to say, like, here's how we do things here, and teach them the ways of high school. But then it's also really exciting to teach those upperclassmen, some of you might be watching, who know how to high school and who, I don't have to teach as many of those things. Like, I don't have to go over how to walk in the halls or how to do whatever. They've got those skills down, so that's fun too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're going to be hearing absolutely from me a whole lot.
Fantastic.
I've found out from
I think that's one of my words, and
watching
perfect.
over. Oh, absolutely. There it is again.
Yep,
Awesome.
yep, there we go. Oh, wait. That is a deep question, and you sent me these questions. He sent me these, and I didn't look over them, which is, poor planning on my part. I honestly, though, I think many of my students inspire me, especially this year. It's been a weird year. I mean, I'm sure that'll come up in your conversations. A pandemic is not something that I ever planned on teaching in, and certainly other people didn't either, I'm sure. And it's been really cool to see students figure out how to make it through this unprecedented, that was the big word, unprecedented year. And I feel like they inspire me to do better and to be better as a teacher for them, for myself. And I feel like there's kind of a bad rap about teenagers in the world, like that they're difficult individuals or, whatever. And I don't think that's the case. So I am inspired by my students.
Very nice. Very good. I forget who answered that. I feel like all the teachers have answered.
Have
that
they?
so far.
Well, students are pretty inspiring. I mean, like, it's hard as a teacher to be teaching right now, but I feel like it would also be really hard as a student to be schooling right now. I mean, like, when I went to school, we didn't have Zoom or any dinosaurs roam the earth. So, this was a long time ago. But we didn't have any of the things that we have now. And some of you were familiar with things like Schoology or Google Classroom, the things that we started using last spring, and some students weren't. And it's the same for teachers, but it was kind of a sink or swim sort of deal. And this is my job. So, this is my job. It's my task. And your job is to be a student, but also there was a lot of stuff thrown at students in this last year. So I'm sure that's why that answer comes up. I think, especially at this time, students are more inspirational than ever.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh no.
There's so many options. Come
There
on.
actually are quite a few options, but automatically, as you said that, the very first one that came to mind was our vocab sentences. So,
Oh yes.
anyone who was in AP Lit that year knows exactly what I'm talking about. Jambo.
Sinatra.
He made it through a lot of things that year.
did.
But I just would like to go on record to say that class just tops the charts on vocab sentences. No one has come close since. I mean, we've only had one other class of people, but still, no one has come close since because those sentences were so creative. And I feel like people were trying to almost like top your sentences that year. And I mean, could anyone come close? I don't know.
No.
That's not the interview we're here to talk about, but that was probably my top Jake Gruba memory. But also having had you in advisory and things throughout the years. I mean, there was just good times all around. But yeah, you're going down in the books for the vocab sentences.
Yes, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I believe I still have a picture of Jambo that you drew me also somewhere. So,
Aw.
I mean, I'm going to have to like show him at the beginning
Fantastic.
of each year when I'm introducing vocab sentences or
Be
something.
like, this is a relic in time.
Yes,
Jambo
exactly.
Sinatra. I might even have the cover of
Oh,
my AP Lit textbook.
Nice,
Which is
very
just
nice.
chaotic and terrible.
I think you also like got people decorating their books that year. Like for most of the years, people like would never write anything on those, and that year, so many decorated textbooks. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
especially since you teach them?
So many things. I would really like freshmen to know that we are actually really here to make this a good experience for them. And I think a lot of them know that, but I think it is really terrifying to come into the high school and have to learn the ways of the high school. And all of those upperclassmen are really big and scary looking. And I get that. And I think so many of my freshmen are sometimes focused on the wrong thing. And it's because it's hard. It's hard to transfer to a new school and make that transition. And I just wish more of them would reach out for help when they need it, whether that's from other students or from teachers, because we are, and I think I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think you would agree with me that like people are here to help them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like often they just kind of hold those questions or those worries or those concerns in, and we would like just share them with us so we can help you.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, so just to clarify, this school year, the 2020-2021 school year, has been something. So we started out here in the fall in a hybrid, and then we switched to distance learning, and then we came back to hybrid, and now we are in person, but some kids are still online, so we're still really in a hybrid. And so I think one of the highlights of this year is getting to know students in a totally different way. So one thing that's cool about online and having those like blended classrooms, like some people are online, some people are in class, it gave me the opportunity to have more in-depth conversations with people. You know, if I had 10 kids in class because of hybrid, I could really talk with those 10 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it switched, I got to chat with that next group of kids. And it's been a little bit harder to connect with the online students, but I think it's just given us this crazy weird opportunity to have so few students in your class that you actually get to know all of them, whereas that's a little bit harder to do. Like with AP Lit, I often get to know you guys fairly well because I have you all year, but for a one trimester course or something, it's hard to get to know students when there's 35 of them.
Yeah.
Did I answer the question? Was that even the question?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It was a highlight of this year.
That was a highlight. That was a highlight. Yes,
yeah.
that was
good. That was good.
He's wrong, actually. The tuba is not God's instrument. I would like you to include this. Unfortunately, his sources are incorrect. So we talk a lot about making sure you have correct information and finding multiple sources to verify. And unfortunately, he's only representing one source. Actually, the piccolo is God's instrument.
Oh.
I used to play it as well as the flute, of course. But the piccolo just
Oh.
It is. Check your sources. Check your sources. And then, of course, Jake Gruba's angelic voice.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good
See?
good answer.
See?
Good answer. That's a good one. I like that. That's actually interesting because everyone I've asked has given me different answers.
Oh.
I've gotten the French horn,
Okay.
the tenor saxophone, I believe.
Okay.
And I forget what McGathy said. Something that McGathy would say.
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Yeah.
sticking with flute and piccolo. I actually, unknown fact about me, there's a few of these. I started playing the flute in 5th grade. I actually took private lessons at Schmidt Music. I don't know if that's even still around.
It is.
And I did band in high school also. So
Oh wow.
I spent some time in our band room. Mr. Bolka was one of my instructors, and he now has a student here. So that's kind of crazy.
Oh, interesting.
His daughter is here. So yeah, most people don't know that, but that is why piccolo and flute and Jake Gruba's voice, of course, also in a combination are
all the same. Like
the instruments.
It all makes the same sound.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My goodness.
It could be your first year actually teaching or your student teacher.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna go with student teaching then. I will say teaching itself was a lot different than I thought it was gonna be. Student teaching, like there's another teacher there with you, you have somebody to like collaborate with and throw ideas around with all of the time. And then when you actually become a teacher, you're like, oh my gosh, they're letting me watch all of these students by myself. Like, it's very terrifying.
Yeah.
I imagine much like bringing a new baby home from the hospital, like they're gonna let me keep this thing alive. It's the same thing with teaching. However, when I student taught, I had Isaiah Mayerchuk. This was years and years ago.
Oh.
He was in my class, and he knows about this, so I feel like it's not a bad. We talked about it. He got to know about it. But we were reading. I don't remember what book it was. We were reading a book together in class, and he missed a couple of days of class. I don't know if he was sick. Something was going on. And when he was gone, the students decided to make up this event that didn't happen. I believe this was in Murkve. And they made up this event that didn't happen. And then when we had the discussion for it, when he was back, like kind of a review, they were all talking about it. And he is flipping through his book, just trying to figure out, like, where did this happen? What is going on?
No.
And of course he can't find it. And so he asked me if there's a different copy of the book he should have. And I was like, Isaiah, it's right here on this page. And obviously we revealed to him that it was a joke. It was all in fun. And he thought it was quite funny when we revealed it as well. But I just thought, these students came up with this plan and they all knew each other fairly well. So that helps too. You can't just randomly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it was quite funny. And I think he pranked me back later. So it all worked out. But it was very funny.
Oh, you'll love to see it.
That probably shouldn't be my highlight, like as a teacher, like, oh, here's this time this student.
I pranked this student.
Right,
my
exactly.
student teacher
That's
here.
probably not a good answer, but again, it was all in fun, and he was okay with it after we revealed it. So Isaiah, if you see this,
Yeah.
good times.
It's
Thank you.
good times.
Thank you for your positive attitude. Can I tell those? I don't know if I can tell those.
I mean, so many people are going to be watching this.
So many people.
Literally
so
so
many people. I don't know if I actually have any insane stories. The school is very creepy looking in the summer or like when it's not generally open to the public. So I always think I'm hearing things, like I'm kind of slightly convinced that there may be ghosts in the building. I have no evidence whatsoever, none. But anytime I've come in during the summer, all of the lights upstairs, I'm upstairs in what one of our custodians likes to refer to as the penthouse. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yes.
I'm upstairs in the penthouse and all of the lights are off. There's these like emergency lights that are on at the end of each hallway, but that's about it. And so you're kind of walking through the dark to find your room and to get where you need to go. And of course, every noise you hear is of course a ghost. So that's probably the only like crazy thing that's happened to me is like imagining that I'm not alone. But yeah, otherwise I think it's been, fairly normal. I had a student go into labor in my class once.
Oh, wow.
She was able to get to the hospital. All was good. But that was a little, I wasn't quite sure what to do. We figured it out. Students have pranked me a couple of times. I can't think of any like really standout ones, but when it's done politely, I don't know the right term for that. When it's done appropriately, it can be really funny. I don't want to be like, please go prank your teachers. That is not a good message to send, but
Go out and prank all of your teachers.
do not do that. Don't do that.
No, listen to me. Only listen to me. Prank all of your teachers.
I'm making
right
facial
now.
expressions like do it. I have my
Everyone
mask
can see
on.
that, right? Yeah, you guys
my
can see
goodness.
this. Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh my gosh, working from home. Okay, so I loved and hated working from home. The thing I love about working from home is I had a dedicated space where I could do it and I had everything organized and there were no distractions. Here, people need me for random things at different times and I'm so happy to help, but it means that you stop your work and then you start it again and it just happens all the time. So at home, I could just sit down and get so much done in a few hours. I thought it was really cool to interact with students in breakout rooms and over Zoom. It wasn't the same, of course, but like given the situation, it wasn't so bad. Like we made it work. I enjoyed it. But it's also kind of bittersweet because you don't get to see your students. You don't get to have those same interactions. So I loved coming back, but I did not hate learning from home. It wasn't the same, but I feel like we made the best of it in my courses and made it work.
Yeah, very good. Okay, now we're gonna go to the last question.
Okay.
So you again have now gone through this process. What advice do you have for teachers who are going to be going through this process?
My advice is don't read the questions first because I feel like I would have been too worried about answering them. I looked at them. I looked at your YouTube channel. I was like, is this going to get me fired? Doesn't look like it. So thank you for like having a respectfully and appropriate
You're welcome.
set up channel. Yeah.
We're a Christian channel is what I call it.
Fantastic. Well, I just, like, you never know. There aren't a whole lot of students, I feel like, that I would agree to be on their YouTube channel for. I don't know how many students have YouTube channels, but I
many.
didn't read your questions ahead of time. I glanced at them for a second and thought, nope, not going to do it. Because I did want my answers to be really genuine. In hindsight, I probably could have come up with some better stories or memories if I had, but I feel like that would have stressed me out. So I think just have a combo. It's like having a convo with
Yeah.
you. I actually was thinking about bringing you some goldfish this morning. I didn't make it to the store last night. I was gonna bring some. They have a new flavor, like a sour cream and chive or something.
Oh,
I don't
why?
know.
Who did this?
I
Why?
saw it in when I was browsing the Target app. I
man.
pick up most of my groceries from Drive Up. It's a great service. So
Love that.
like as I was scrolling through, I was like, oh, these are not the ones I want. But I wonder if he's heard of these.
Interesting.
So have you tried those ones?
I have not.
I've not either.
No.
So I didn't order them, but maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, I also just would like to thank you. This interview was really fun, but also just so everybody knows, Jake Gruba is the go-to expert for goldfish.
Yeah.
And so I advised him, or I chatted with him when I was looking for advice on what type of goldfish to buy, because it's been a few years since I've had goldfish.
Yeah, we had a
Believe it or
full email conversation.
We did.
It was great.
Pretzel and extra cheddar, great combo.
A great combo.
It's my favorite
Absolutely
one. Yeah.
fantastic.
I haven't tried the cupcake ones yet.
Don't.
That's a maybe. Don't?
Just
Okay,
don't.
I'll save
Just
my time.
don't.
Perfect.
Really, just don't. So thank you
Yeah,
for this.
thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this experience.
I did.
This is where we would shake hands.
Yes,
but
for sure. This
obviously-
is a pretend.
Yes.
Yep, there we go.
Yes.
Yep.
Shaking hands.
Very cool.
Yes. All right, that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna